dust of the ancient desert, amidst the grandeur of the pyramids and the sweeping Nile, a civilization emerged that would leave a legacy of power, innovation, and military prowess. Ancient Egypt, a land of vast riches, fertile soil, and a divine kingship, won some of the greatest battles in history. But how did they achieve such success? What made their warriors and strategies so formidable, and how did Egypt rise to dominance in the ancient world? These are questions that have intrigued historians for centuries. The earliest military successes of Egypt can be traced to its strategic location. Situated between two great deserts, Egypt was protected by the natural barriers of the Sahara and the Sinai Peninsula. But more than just geography, Egypt's military innovations and organizational strategies allowed them to conquer not just neighboring lands, but also create a lasting empire. The Egyptians knew how to make the most of their environment, using their understanding of the Nile River, their highly disciplined army, and their belief in the divine mandate of their rulers. One of Egypt's greatest military triumphs came under the reign of Thutmose III, often referred to as the Napoleon of Egypt. Thutmose III's military genius transformed Egypt from a regional power into a dominant force in the ancient world. During his reign, Egypt expanded its territories to encompass vast stretches of the ancient Near East, from the Levant to Nubia, and even as far as modern-day Syria. Thutmose's military strategy focused on swift, decisive action, often catching his enemies by surprise. His most famous campaign, the Battle of Megiddo in 1457 BCE, remains a textbook example of military strategy. Thutmose III's forces, vastly outnumbered by a coalition of Canaanite city-states, outmaneuvered their enemies through clever use of terrain and rapid movement. Despite the odds, Thutmose's forces crushed the coalition, solidifying Egypt's dominance over the Levant. But it wasn't just their tactics that made the Egyptians powerful. Their innovations in military technology also played a crucial role. One of the key developments was the chariot. While the Egyptians did not invent the chariot, they were among the first to perfect its use in battle. With their chariots, the Egyptians could move swiftly across the battlefield, harassing enemy lines and scouting terrain. The chariot's speed and maneuverability made it a formidable weapon, and it became the cornerstone of Egypt's military strategy for centuries. As Egypt's power grew, so did its army. The Egyptian military was highly organized, with a professional standing army that could mobilize quickly when necessary. Pharaohs, seen as gods on earth, were the military leaders of the nation, and their word was law. The Egyptian army was made up of soldiers from all walks of life, from peasants to skilled craftsmen who were trained in combat and sent to the front lines. This discipline and readiness contributed to Egypt's ability to win battles with astonishing consistency. The Egyptian military also had a unique advantage in its religious and ideological beliefs. The pharaoh was not just a king, he was believed to be the living god Horus, and his victories in battle were seen as a manifestation of divine will. This belief imbued Egyptian soldiers with a sense of invincibility. The Egyptians viewed their military endeavors as part of a divine mission to uphold the cosmic order, or Ma'at, which emphasized truth, justice, and harmony. This made their campaigns more than just wars of conquest. They were battles for the gods, with the fate of the world resting on their success. One of Egypt's greatest military triumphs came under the reign of New Kingdom, when Egypt was at the height of its power. The pharaohs of this period, including Hatshepsut, Akhenaten, and Ramses II, waged a series of successful campaigns that expanded Egypt's borders and solidified its reputation as a military powerhouse. Hatshepsut, though often remembered for her architectural and diplomatic achievements, also demonstrated military acumen. she conducted successful military campaigns in Nubia, ensuring the flow of gold and resources into Egypt, further bolstering the nation's wealth and military strength. Ramses II, often regarded as one of Egypt's greatest pharaohs, is perhaps best known for his role in the Battle of Kadesh, fought against the Hittites around 1274 BCE. While the battle itself ended in a stalemate, Ramses II's propaganda made it appear as though the Egyptians had won a great victory. He used this to solidify his image as a warrior king and strengthen his position both domestically and abroad. The Battle of Kadesh, although inconclusive, showed the Egyptians' ability to stand their ground against a powerful foe and negotiate from a position of strength. Ramses' reign, however, is not only remembered for this battle, but for his extensive building projects, including the temples of Abu Simbel, which served as a lasting symbol of his military and political dominance. Despite these military successes, Egypt faced challenges from within. The military was often stretched thin due to the vastness of the empire and the need to protect its borders on multiple fronts. The military also faced internal threats, such as rebellions and political instability, which could weaken the kingdom from within. In response to these threats, Egyptian rulers often employed a strategy of military fortification, building massive walls, forts, and garrisons in strategic locations. These fortifications served not only as military strongholds, but also as symbols of Egyptian power and control over their territory. One of the reasons why Egypt was able to maintain such a powerful military presence for so long was its ability to adapt. Over time, Egypt incorporated new tactics and technologies into its military strategies. The Egyptians were quick to learn from their enemies, adopting new weapons such as the composite bow and the use of infantry in more advanced formations. As their empire expanded, they were forced to adapt to new environments and enemies, and they did so with remarkable efficiency. The final phase of Egypt's military prowess came during the reign of Cleopatra VII, who faced off against the might of Rome in the late 1st century BCE. Cleopatra, though remembered for her political acumen and relationships with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, was also a skilled military strategist. She sought to use Egypt's military might to secure her throne and resist Roman domination. Her alliance with Antony in the Battle of Actium in 31 BCE ended in defeat, and Egypt was absorbed into the Roman Empire. While Egypt's military dominance had waned by this point, the legacy of its military achievements remained. Egypt's greatest battles were not just about conquest, but also about the preservation of its way of life. From the battles of Thutmose III to the strategic brilliance of Ramses II and the last stand of Cleopatra, Egypt's military history is a testament to the resilience, adaptability, and ingenuity of its people. Their ability to defend their land, expand their borders, and influence the course of history is a legacy that continues to captivate the imagination of historians and enthusiasts alike. The impact of Egypt's military victories stretched far beyond the battlefield. The wealth and stability gained through conquest allowed Egypt to become a center of culture, art, and learning. It influenced the development of future military strategies, serving as a model for future empires. The Egyptian army's innovative use of chariots, disciplined infantry, and advanced fortifications became standards for ancient warfare, while their mastery of navigation and geography helped them conquer and maintain control over distant lands. Though Egypt's military power eventually faded, the stories of its greatest battles still resonate in history. Today, we remember the pharaohs, generals, and soldiers who fought to build and defend one of the most powerful empires the world has ever known. The ancient Egyptians not only won their greatest battles, they changed the course of history itself.